So I often get asked this question: shall I charter my jet out when I'm not using it? As everybody seems to think that they're going to make money when they charter their jet out. There's a few videos on YouTube that talk about this, and even some owners, saying that, they make money by chartering their jet out. And some of these people that have said that actually discovered that that's not the case. But I'm going to start off by telling you a story, and I'll tell you the story in a minute. My name is Fabrizio. I'm your aviation advisor and also airline transport pilot and the author of The Quantum Economy. More about my book towards the end of the video. I'll be giving you a special offer, so stay to the end. So let me tell you this horror story. These two owners, one guy goes out, he buys 2 aeroplanes, and then he tells his buddy about, I just bought these 2 planes instead of paying taxes. I just bought the planes. I can write off 100% of the depreciation. And so he bought 2 jets. His buddy goes out and buys 2 jets. How did they buy the jets? They hunted around and on the internet, found somebody, and this somebody said to them, yes, no problem. Well, you buy a Falcon 50, you buy a Challenger 604. We'll buy these other 2 smaller jets as well. And so these guys went out, purchased the jets. And this guy said, I'll charter them out when you're not using them. And, the charters will pay for all your flying. Oh, great. Okay, so it's tax write-off. Plane pays for itself. It's not going to cost me anything. And I've got my own jet. If I need it to go somewhere, I can travel with my family or with business executives and use it to go out and do deals. So this is basically, how they were sold the deal. But what happened? The Falcon 50 went out and it was on a charter. This airplane was based more or less in the west coast of the United States, ended up in the east coast somewhere, and the plane broke down. And it sat there for almost 6 weeks before it was fixed. Now, what the owner hadn't been told is a Falcon 50 being an old aeroplane, that Dassault doesn't really like to support their older aeroplanes. The spare parts are difficult to find, so you have to wait when things go wrong, etc., etc. No, he wasn't told this. So now he gets this unscheduled maintenance event, okay, which costs him extra money, which wasn't on the spreadsheet. The airplane's sitting on the ground for 6 weeks, so it's not doing any charters. Okay, so it's missed revenue on that. So that was a really, really bad choice. The other guy bought this airplane, this Challenger 604 for $7 million. After a while, discovered that the guy that sold him the plane bought it for 6.25 3 weeks before and sold it to him for $7 million. And then the first charter came in after 9 months. So he's obviously not very happy either. So what happens with these private jets? Now, you are going to be buying a private jet, and the management companies are going to fall over backwards to get you to give them your airplane to manage, because they're going to make 15%. It doesn't cost them, the management company, a penny. Actually, it makes them really look good, because now you're coming in there with your Gulfstream G550. They're adding another airplane to their fleet. They put it on their website, this nice shiny jet, and they tell everybody, we have another Gulfstream G550 under management, a $40-50 million asset under management, and it makes them look really good. You pay for everything, and you pay the management fee, so you pay him like 12 grand a month to manage the airplane, and the management company will also make 15% on every charter. So that's why they're falling over backwards, and that's why they're telling you all these fancy stories to lure you in. But the reality is, no one has ever made any money chartering their jet out. Just to give you a bit of perspective here, the airlines have to use their airplanes for at least minimum 4,000 hours a year to be able to break even. And in the history of airlines, there's very, very few that have actually made a profit. Bearing in mind the first flight was in 1903. Here we are today in 2024, and that's a reality. Just, look at the history of airlines and you'll find that out. So why on earth go and buy a private jet then? Well, the private jet, the advantage is it's a business tool. And this is what you really need to understand. In my book, The Quantum Economy, I talk about those people that are in the quantum economy. And one of these is the company Walmart. Now, if you've read the story of Sam Walton, you know how important aviation was to him. He started flying as a hobby. He then discovered, well, I could actually use my airplane to go and scout for locations for Walmart. So that's what he initially did. And then he started to build a fleet of aircraft. And then they started to use the airplane to, once they had a few locations, to take their people to the different locations to visit and see how the business was going and that. And over time, they used the airplanes to do this and to grow their business. They used the airplanes as a business tool, to the extent where now they have one of the largest corporate fleets of private jets in the world. They have 30 aircraft, and the company keeps growing. So, because they're using it as a business tool. And so the way you need to look at it, and this is really, really important to understand, because if you're chartering your airplane out, I'll just give you an example. Okay, let's say you're based in Los Angeles, and charter request comes in. The charter company will call you and say, okay, we've got a charter request here on Monday morning. Plane's going out from Los Angeles to London in England, and it's going to sit there for a couple of days and then fly back. Yep, okay. So they get owner approval, okay, and off the plane goes, because it's a lot of hours. So you think, oh, I'm going to make money. Charter guys are all happy because they say, oh, this is a good money out of this one. Plenty of hours flying them, 30 hours, 15 there, 15 back, whatever, give or take. So anyway, so that's what they're thinking. Now, suddenly, on Monday afternoon, a situation starts developing where you really need to be in Philadelphia the next morning. But your plane's in London. So now what do? You call the charter company up, see if they have an extra aeroplane. No, they don't. So now you're going to have to go out and charter someone else's aeroplane down the road and pay in full for that charter. So, and it's not your aeroplane. But if your aeroplane had been in the hangar, two things could have happened. One, Tuesday morning you jump in your plane and off you go. Or, even better, you know what? I'm going to get my plane to fly out Monday evening, pick the people up in Philadelphia, and fly them to me for a meeting on Tuesday morning. Now, how about that? What impact is that going to have on your potential deal? Now that you've sent your private jet out to pick them up, and the private jet's maybe got your logo on the tail, or it's got, or you branded it inside, so you've got cups with your name on it and all that kind of thing inside the airplane. The flight attendants prepared some really good catering. That you've briefed them on who these potential clients are and what they like and don't like and whatever, and they make sure they got all the food and wine and all the things that they like on board. So by the time they get to you, not only have they traveled on your private jet, in the comfort of the private jet, and had some good food, they see that it's your private jet and this is the way you do business, and you're obviously putting a lot of value on them because you're going through this expense of bringing them to you. The odds of this deal going through go you enter the quantum economy. You start doing things quantumly, okay? And it's not these linear steps 1 2 3 4. No, you're these quantum steps where it's 2 4 8 16 32, where it's doubling every time. And that's really where the jet is going to make you money. So just to recap here, forget charters. Don't charter your jet out because you're not going to make any money out of it. Bear in mind, you're also going to have wear and tear on the interior, more hours on the airplane. So when you go and resell the airplane, it's going to be worth less. So is it really worth it? And if you calculate it's going to be worth less, how many more hours you did, and you do the maths after that, you'll discover this actually costs you money to charter the plane out instead of making you money. Well, if you use the airplane for your business deals, it's going to make you money. Instead of flying 600 hours a year, a lot would have been the charter. You maybe flew 350, okay, but they were all, flying you, your executives, your team, your family, and sending the plane out to go and pick potential clients up and bring them to you. And that's the way to do it. That's how you're going to really make a really good return investment on your private jet. So I hope I answered your question on this one. And now for the special one, if you order a copy of The Quantum Economy, clicking on the link below, you go to the Amazon page, order the book, you become a verified purchaser, write a review for me, and then send me an email with the review in it and just a picture of the review on Amazon. And you will then qualify for a free one-to-one call with me, where what we will do is we'll sit down and we'll look at your needs for travel, and we'll calculate if you're in the market now, if it's right for you to buy a plane right now, or maybe lease one, or do a fractional ownership, or buy half with somebody that's local that we can find for you, or just charter. And a lot will depend. So we'll talk more about your business, what your goals are for the future, how you could use the airplane, where you need to go, and what your budget is, and how much this thing is going to cost to buy. But also you have to calculate how much is it going to cost you to operate the airplane as well. These are all things I can do for you. And this initial call is going to be free if you buy a copy of the book and you post the review and you send me the review, then I'll schedule you in for that. So that's all from me here on BizJet TV. So subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up as well, and comment below. We love the comments going. Share the video with other people through your social media platform, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, wherever, on WhatsApp. Share this video with your friends that are maybe thinking of buying a private jet or thinking of chartering their private jet, because I'm sure the they'll find out the truth by watching this. Anyway, so that's all from me here on this episode. Check out this other video we did recently with this Honda Jet owner that had an accident with his jet, but he's been using the jet to build his business, so I'm sure you'll enjoy that one. And that's all from Fabrizio here on BizJet TV, and I'll see you on the next one.